Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, in this series on Sabatical, the lessons learned, this morning it's all about sabbatical is not a vacation. Sabbatical is not a vacation. Let me say it a third time because I think it's so important that you get that. That is what many people think. I want to break it down more about what this whole sabbatical is about, as well as what is our Sabbath Sunday coming up this fifth Sunday, excuse me, is about as well. Sabbatical is not a vacation. It has some vacation things in it, but it's not. It's not. And I want to break it down for you. I want to break it down for you even more. I'm going to give you the text to take away 5 minutes or less. I hope this has been blessing you. If so, put it in the chat area and as well, share it. Share it now. Share it now. So that this word can get out. If it's blessing you, bless somebody else. Don't be greedy. Don't keep it to yourself. I want to get into it this morning. I want to break it on down as, as we're dealing with the sabbatical. And I think it's going to really bless you. Let's go. Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less, you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day. Yesterday was get somewhere and sit down. You remember your mother, your TT, your uncle, your big mama, whoever would tell you that this morning, as we drive this whole thing about sabbatical and the lessons I've learned here at the tail end of my sabbatical, it's not a vacation. Then what is it? Then what is it, Bishop? Help me fill in the blanks. That's what I'm about to do. Here's the text, Mark 6:31. Mark 6:31. Come ye yourselves apart into a desert place, Jesus talking, and rest a while. For there are many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. Jesus talking to the disciples, they're so wrapped up in ministry. They're so wrapped up in ministry that they have not had a chance to rest, to recover, to restore, to reflect, to get rejuvenated. But let's break this down even further. And let me help you make it sense for the Sabbath Sunday coming up. Come on here, let's talk. Here's the context of the text. One of the biggest lessons of my first ever sabbatical is simple. I knew how to take a vacation. In fact, I would drive hard. I would drive hard for the vacation. I would. I've been blessed as a family. We would go together and enjoy one another's company for a week. And I was determined. But many times what I would do, and I'm ashamed to say it, I take my laptop. When I was working on my PhD, I took my laptop a couple times. Not even when I was working on my PhD, take some books, whatever. And sometimes I would write notes or what have you. But that was my vacation. I didn't know how to rest. And I'm still struggling. Rest. To rely, to embrace, to submit, and to tie myself into God in that moment. Rest. Write that down. There's a difference. I've traveled. I've been blessed. I've gone to beautiful places. I've been blessed. Continue to be blessed. I've eaten great meals. I've exercised, slept in, relaxed, and enjoyed experiences with family. But when reading this book, Ruth Haley Barton's Strengthening the Soul of Your Leadership, and reading the Gospels that I've been doing, journaling, praying, and sitting quietly with God, it's teaching me that reclining on vacation is not the same thing as resting in God. In Mark 6, Jesus looked at his disciples who have been pouring themselves out in ministry and told them, come, 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 break away, and rest a while. Sometimes you've got to come apart before you come apart. Let me say that again. Put it in. Sometimes you got to come apart before you come apart. Yeah, talking to myself. So the first thing I want you to get is this: release, release. Put it in the chat area. Rest requires you and I to let go. For years, my body could leave the office and would leave the office while my mind stayed at work. There's always another sermon, another meeting, another decision, another problem, another person who needs another thing. But I'm learning that rest begins when I release what I cannot control and trust God with what keeps going while I trust God that what keeps moving while I'm still. If everything falls apart because I stopped, that's a clear sign I was carrying something God never asked me to carry. And as a leader, I was carrying it incorrectly. So release. Here's the second thing I want you to get. Grab this. Receive. Receive. God gives me permission to stop. God has given me permission to stop. He's always given it to me. I just never took him at his word. Notice that Jesus didn't criticize them for being tired. He told them to rest. That's hitting differently for me now. Rest isn't something I have to feel guilty about. Jesus himself recognized that people who continually pour out eventually need to pull away and be poured in. Prayer, journaling, reading the Gospels, and sitting in God's presence is teaching me how to receive instead of always pouring out. Sometimes God isn't asking me, what are you doing for me lately? Sometimes God is asking, will you just sit here with me? You know, it's one of God's love languages. Yeah, one of God's love languages. Spending time with him. Third thing, restore. My whole self needed to be restored. My body needed rest. Never slept so much in my life. My mind needed rest. I'm always thinking. How about just not thinking right now? Hamster wheel, hamster get off the mind wheel. You know, because you can sleep 8 hours and still have a tired soul. That's what I'm discovering on this sabbatical. God is restoring me physically, mentally, and spiritual, and he will do the same to you. That's why we have designed on the Sabbath Sunday. Some days can become so busy, especially for ministry leaders, that we don't rest. What does it mean? It's not that I don't go to church. It's not that I go to somebody else's church. It's none of that. It's none of that. What it is that I get in his presence. I'm still. I'm responding to his love language. And all of these other things, physical, mental, they fall in place. So God is restoring me, not the bishop, not the pastor, not the leader, not the author, not the CEO, just Jeffrey sitting with God. Yeah, indeed. Rest changes your soul. So I'm slowing down, I'm praying, I'm journaling, I'm reading the Gospels, I'm reflecting, I'm resting. That's what we want you to do this coming Sunday. I've just had the opportunity to spread it all out over 2 months. And I'm learning something I probably should have learned a long time ago. Watch this, listen to this. I want you to come here, lean in. I got it. God can run the world without me. You can. You can. You really can. So what's your takeaway? What's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this. Discover that Sabbath rest isn't doing nothing. Just like Sabbath Sunday isn't doing nothing. Don't think we're just throwing a Sunday away. It's trusting God enough to stop doing everything. Put that in your mailbox and do what you need to do with that. Share this, man. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. The Lord be with you. May his face shine upon you and give you peace and rest. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. God bless you.